At first I thought this game was all luck, just like most slot machines. Then I found out we can increase our odds of winning money back by making the correct choices. In this video, we're going to make sure that we play smarter, lose less. Welcome back, I'm Smak, and we're going to be learning some jacks or better video poker. This is number 4 out of a playlist of hopefully 10. And we're going to go through and show you how to play. So what we're doing here is we started with $1,000 and the current we have is $968.75, and we're going to keep it there just to show you how it goes. So with this, we're just going to go through hands, and I am no means an expert, but I am pretty decent at jacks or better, so I should get most of this right. So to start off, we have 3 hearts and 2 diamonds. Most people might think it's all 3, but it's usually just ace queen. We also have the royal flush, which is really nice. So let's go through and do that. And we got our money back, which in jacks are better in the long run. This game is not very volatile, which basically means it's one of those games that's going to be much tighter, and you're not going to have big win streaks and big lose streaks, and you'll kind of stay around the same a lot. This is why I choose this one for the odds, because overall you're really close. Now this is a difficult hand, especially on the second hand, because you have the royal flush draw with the spades, and then you have the straight flush draw plus the ace over with the other 3. This is tight, and my last 3 videos were made a while ago, so I'm getting back into this and they're really just throwing me in here. So we're gonna try the straight flush because, I mean, you have the straight and the flush option with the other and the 2 overs. We have 3 here. We're gonna try it. However, I think it's pretty close. And I was wrong. So this is how it works. You know, you learn, and I'm learning as well. So our potential thing, we're betting $1.25, which is max bet on quarter. And this is going to be your Game Kings Classic Jacks or Better machine, the 9-6 version. And altogether, we lost 10 cents every time we play this hand if we stick with that. You'll see here the EV, which is expected value. This is, the higher this is, the better your odds. So if you are thinking just keep the ace, yeah, that's not as good as keeping the ace queen, and the best is the queen jack. Yeah, the queen jack is next to each other, so I should have also put that into the equation, and I think, you know, we live and learn. So we're gonna go through and do the jack queen, and boom. So now we got our money back, which, you know, I would like to see more with all these overcards, but it is what it is. So here's our next hand. So you don't usually want to keep 3 high cards. It's usually 1, 2, or 4 from what I've seen, unless they're the top 4 cards. So here we would pick 2, and preferably I would go jack queen because they're next to each other since none of these are suited. And queen king's a little higher than queen jack. So I feel like jack queen is the best because you have the most cards above it for the straight and below it. So let's see what happens. And I'm wrong again. This one you do keep all 3. All right, I wonder if this has changed or if it's just a specific hand. I'm not sure, but it does look like it's a 2-cent error. So we're gonna go through and remove this and go ahead and select all 3. And we'll go through and do that. I'm guessing it was all 3 because they are all next to each other. They're concurrent. If there was some gappers, I'm assuming that we would not have done it. I would have been correct, but unfortunately I wasn't. Yeah, we're looking at like a 8 or 9 month hiatus since last time I played, because I started the channel, made some videos, and the videos didn't do good. And now they're starting to catch on, so I'm like, okay, maybe people do like this. So let's go ahead and do the next one. And if you're liking this demonstration, you want to try it yourself, videopoker.com is an affiliate of mine. I have a link down below. And what that'll do is that'll get you in and you can play for free. However, if you want the pro training, you do have to do the pro membership, which I think is around $13 or $14 a month at this time. However, you can just play for free. So here we're going to go through and do the 3 6s because that's a monster hand to get. And we're going to get some money back, 15 credits. All right, we're on a roll now. Let's see what we got next. Okay, so pair is always strong. pocket twos. And I think we're just going to go through with that. 2, 3, 4, I don't think is enough against a pair. And we were correct that time, and we hit another 2, which is awesome. Jacks Are Better is such a good game, like I said. It's not as volatile as everything else. I feel like these are the best ones to start with if you're learning video poker. And then as you start going and doing other games, if you want to be more aggressive, you can try the others. And we're going to do series on probably all of them if people keep watching. That's how it goes. Here, sometimes you want to say, oh, 3 to the flush. Sometimes it's 3 to the flush. Most of the time it's not, especially without an overcard. And there's no good straight draw. So I'm going to think this is a redraw. Let's see what happens. All right, we're warming up here. We're getting correct again. So yeah, that was a complete redraw. A lot of people would have kept 3 to the flush, and we would have missed. We would have got Queen Jack. So, you know, you can sometimes pick the right choice and still get the wrong result, and vice versa. So you never will know what's going to happen. So overall, that was the right move, and we're going up. These games are so solid that in my casino, they don't even let you use your free play on them anymore. They took it completely away. I was so mad because I used to use all my free play on video poker. And yeah, I play slots, but I feel like the video poker free play was the best because you have your best chance of getting it back. So here, you know what it is. You're probably screaming, do the royal flush. All right, let's do it. We got the royal flush here, and we will draw and see what we get. Now, we start with the flush, but unfortunately, we did not spike a spade there, and that one ended. You can see here by the EV, the 3 cards as royal flush were way higher than just the ace queen. So that is good to know. All right, what we got here? This is a winner already. Majority of the time you won't break up a winner unless it's something insane. Very rarely, because you are already a winner. So we're going to stick with the jacks. We're going to hope for 1 or 2 more, or maybe even another pair. 2 pair helps as well. And we didn't improve at all. That happens. Let's go through and do the next hand. This is a replay, it said, which means I messed up in the past. This software is smart, and as you mess up, it's going to go through and play hands that you've made mistakes in the past. Looking at this, I would think it's the 9s, but knowing that I've made a mistake in the past, now I'm wondering if it's the flush. No, it's definitely not the flush. It's got to be the 9s. I feel like this is a hand I would have never messed up. Let's see. Okay, I was right. Yeah, maybe in another video I did mess that up, but unfortunately we didn't win because a pair of 9s is not jacks or better, but you know, it's still the best thing to hold there. And here we're going to do the ace jack. 2 overcards is awesome, especially suited. You always have that dream of the royal flush. And let's go through and see if we hit it. We cannot, but we did hit the 2 aces. Money back. A lot of times with this game, I just try to go through and get 4 of a kind or higher and try to hit big. And I try to stay even until that happens. All right, so we have a pair versus a straight flush draw. Now this is tough. I'm gonna assume it's the 6s. However, the straight flush does have an overcard as well. It is a double gapper, so which means it's in the middle and in the middle again. So because of that, I think the 6 is going to be the one, but I'm not 100%. But I was right. We'll take it. So it was actually 2.7 EV, where ours was 4.1. So big deal there. Like I said, if you're ever in doubt and you're not sure, usually holding the pair is going to work out for you. On to the next hand. This is a tough one. Nope, because we already have a winning hand of jacks. So we're going to hold the jacks, even though the flush looks amazing. Our chances of hitting the flush, you know, there's 13 hearts altogether. We just used 4 of them, so there's only 9. And then there's 13 spades, 13 diamonds, and 12 clubs. So because of that, our odds are lower to hit the flush, and we already have a winning hand. So we stick with the jacks. Now, if this was something crazy like a royal flush, I might go for it. But since it's not, we're just going to go through and draw. And we can see here the numbers. 7.6 was the EV. and the flush was all the way down at 5.9. So that's a good amount of difference. If it's like 2 points past the decimal, it's not that big of a deal. But if it's the first number is different, that's a big deal. So keep that in mind. Let's go through and go to the next hand. Currently, we are even this session. And we have 3 8s. Give me a date with an 8. There is a straight flush draw here, but 3 8s is a winning hand, and it's a good hand. So we're going to keep that and hope we get the 4th. Or we get lucky and get runner for a pair. Neither, but we'll take the 15 credits and go up overall. All right, what we got here, we got a pair of 6s for 6, 7, 8. That's not even 4 cards, it's only 3. So the 6s again are going to be the strongest one here. Let's go through and draw it. And here you can see 4.1 on the 6s. And if you wanted to go for the crazy gut draw, it wasn't even on here. So yeah, 6s were the right call, and we also hit, so that's great. Now this is a pretty simple one. We just want the 2 overcards. Jacks are better, so this is better than this is a jack, and this is better. So we're gonna pull both of those, and then we'll go through and draw on that. We can see here 2.5 with the jack queen, 2.3 with the jack. So if you hit the wrong button or something like that, and you only hold one of these face cards, it's still not that bad compared to missing out on the jack queen. Let's go through and draw again here. 3 deuces. That's awesome. We're getting a lot of 3 of kinds, which, you know, is not going to happen as much as it's currently happening, but you do go on these heaters as you play. Usually I go up, I go down, I go up, I go down, and that's kind of how it goes. And the smart thing is to cash out when you're up, but you don't know when it's going to stop. You know, it's always tough. But here we're just going to do 3 deuces. And 21 here. Keeping a separate card to try to hit the full house isn't the worst thing, but I think having another shot at the 4th 2 is a lot better. So I would always keep 3 deuces here. This is a replay. I would do pocket 4s in a moment. Jack 10 8, not really anything. Pretty simple hand there. We missed. You can see the EV was the highest there. All right, so another pretty simple one. We're just going to take the 6s here. Nothing over our jacks, nothing suited or next to each other. And 4.1 again. Kings. We'll go through and pull the kings and hit here. And we just got our money back here. So this series is going to be a lot like what you're seeing right now, except the last video is going to be all difficult hands. I'm going to put it on the hardest mode at the end, and I'm going to do one video, which will probably be longer if I do bad than usual. But if it goes well, then it'll probably be about the same length. For this, we'll do Jack, Queen, King. And we hit the straight. Runner, straight. That's great. And we got up in some points here. So looking back here, the EV was definitely the best, holding all 3. However, Jack, Queen, not too far behind, or Queen, King. Jack, King you wouldn't want to do because they're not next to each other. So 3 because they're suited. And as you remember, I messed up earlier on this, and now the hole has been plugged. And this is something you want to do, I would say, every like 6 months, because as you play without the odds, it does go through and impact your mindset, and you kind of start forgetting what's what. So maybe even 3 months, depending how much you're playing. If you're just playing maybe like once a week, every 6 months is good. If you're playing more than that, you're probably going to want to hit this like every 2 or 3 months. So, or watch the videos. So here we can go through and do Ace Queen. This is a pretty simple one. I'd like to see those cards. Would like to see new draw, because those cards are not good. And you can see here the EV was the highest. Holding the queen wasn't too bad, off as well, but you know, you want 2 shots on that, so it's better. All right, now the next deal. Okay, this is an interesting. We got pocket 10s, but we also have 9, 10, Jack, Queen, which is going to be the one, because here we need a king or an 8 to go through and spike the straight. Also, if we hit a queen or a jack, we get our money back. So we like that. Let's go through and hit the draw and see what we get. Oh, it's telling me did I do something wrong? What? Incorrect hold, really? Wow. That is, wow. I did not know that would be the incorrect hold. Because we do have 8 outs to improve. We have 6 more to break even. But they're saying the 10s are stronger. Wow. I'll have to remember that one. And it's not huge, but it is a difference, you know? So we will go through and hold the 10s. I will say in video poker, I feel like the hardest hand to hit is pocket 10s because it's right below the jacks. For some reason, I feel like they don't hit as much. Watch this prove me wrong. Nope, did not. Let's go again. And here we have pocket 7s. They're going to take those over anything else on the board. Ace is nice, but pair starting with is better. And this is another one of those examples. If we would have just hold the ace, our expected value is 2.3. But because we hold the 7, our expected value is 4.1. That doesn't mean we're going to win with the 7s. That just means overall, the more we play, the better chance is we will win more with this hand. However, if I went with the ace, we would have hit the ace and we would have won this game. So there's a difference between having the correct EV, you know, here, and picking the right cards that pop up. However, if you stick with this over time, this is going to go through and compound and give you more as you play more hands. Hopefully that's not confusing. And here we're just going to go ahead and grab that queen. 3 to a flush, not that good. And there you go, 2.4. See, 3 to a flush is down here. So definitely with the queen there. Unfortunately, we didn't hit, but it happens. This is a replay. I don't know why. This is just an ace. Hey, we hit the ace. And here we're going to go Jack King, 2 overcards. A lot of jacks are better. It's just going to be picking 2 overcards when you have them. Got a pair, but not high enough. Aces and 8s, the dead man's hand, or so they say. And we're looking for an 8 or an ace to move up. Currently, we are winning 10, but the full houses will jump us all the way up to 45. So full houses is a nice hand that you want to hit once in a while, as much as you can. Unfortunately, we're not going to do that here, but you know, full houses will really bring you back up, especially if you're down. 2 overcards, ace king. And good looking cards, but not for what we needed. Did do the right thing though, 2.4 EV. Here we're just going to go ace jack, 2 overs. Jack 10 could be mentioned. Maybe it's jack 10. I have to think back. That's close. I'm going to go ace jack. However, I don't think it's much difference. How different was it? It is a little bit different. So it cost me 4 cents every $1.25 I play this hand. So yeah, that will add up. And also, if you're playing more than $1.25, you know, I do from time to time move it up to, you know, $1 a hand, $2 a hand. However, our casino just got rid of those $2 machines and moves it up to 5. So probably gonna be playing that a lot less. They're getting a little greedy. Overall, the 10 jack was the correct EV. Again, not a huge difference, but it will cost you 4 cents every hand over time. And we didn't hit. And we wouldn't have hit on the other one either. So that happens. We're going to go king jack suited. Even though you have the queen, I believe you're just going to keep the 2 suited cards. Oh, prove me right. All right, good. 2.9, since the queen is not suited, would have been 2.5. So good amount of difference. We did hit 3 kings. Really good outcome there for us. And we're still ahead like few bucks this session. Let's go through and do the next hand. And ace only. nada. Ace is the highest. We're winning with the pocket queens, so we want to go through and keep the queens. Again, through the flush, not that great, and jacks are better. So we'll just keep the queens. And yeah, we will just have the queens. Here you can see 7.6, great value. And Jack King on this one. Hit the king, money back. And we have the, this is a replay. I see 9-10 Jack. And I know this was probably an error from one of my older videos. Like I said, it was a good amount of time since I did those videos. So I feel like it's 9-10 Jack because they are suited. They are next to each other. We have an overcard. However, those 10s robbed me last time I played the hand similar to this. But I'm going to stick with this because this is what I would bet my money on. And I would be wrong. Gotta love it. So here are pocket 10s 4.1 versus 3.6. Tell me in the comments, would you have played the 9-10 Jack or would you have played the 10s? Now, this might sound weird, but I feel like over time, the pros will play the 10s because it's a better money back. However, straight flush, you know, that's the second highest paying item. And it is consecutive. That's a tough one. It says we'll lose 13 cents every time we play $1.25. That's a good amount. You want to hold the 10s. If 8 queen of diamonds comes out, that'll be funny. But there's the 8. All right, pocket 6 is here. Easy one with a pair. No hits. Are we going under? We're lower than we've been in a little bit. We'll go with 2 3s. Yep, correct hand. And here you can see it up here. Obvious winner. Let's go again. Pocket 4s. Yep. Same type of dynamic hand as the last one. We did hit a second pair, which, to be honest, I feel like doesn't happen much on this video poker site, but in the actual game itself, I feel like it hits a lot more. 4.1 was the right way to go. And here, I believe it's going to be Jack Queen because they're next to each other. The king is a gap. The ace doesn't have any suiting going on. You know, that's why I was saying I don't usually hold 3 overcards, but if they're consecutive, that's different. So here, I believe this is correct. Let's see. Okay, I didn't forget everything I learned. That was correct. 2.47 EV, unfortunately. Even though you make the best move, it doesn't work out. Take the 4s. Here we're going to go 2 to a flush, ace queen, always hoping for that royal flush, but it is very, very hard to hit. 2.8. We'll do the kings. I don't know if you've heard my royal flush story. I've hit plenty of real life royal flushes playing Texas Hold'em and digitally on games that are not at the casino. This is an interesting one. However, I did let someone play a video poker once, and they hit the button, and they hit a royal flush. $1,000. And I've never hit one, and I've played a lot of video poker. Anyway, so here, ace of diamonds or ace 4-5 of diamonds. I'm going to say since the ace is automatic, we're going to keep the 4-5 as well. However, it is a double gapper, which means there's 2 cards in between this. So this could be wrong, but at a casino, I'm probably holding this. See what happens. Ah, I was right. It's pretty close, though. You can see it's past the decimal point. So it was pretty close. We did hit the 2 for the straight, but then the queen got in our way. All right. Do we do ace king here or ace 10? What do you think? It's a tough one right now. I'm gonna say ace king or ace 10. I'm gonna go ace king. Ace king because it is next to each other. Even though this is suited, there's a lot of room between the ace and the 10. So we're gonna say ace king. We're correct, we spiked the ace, and even if we would have kept the ace 10, we still would have hit. Here we go. Queen jack. Easy one there. Whew, look at that, all around. No help. Here we're going to do king queen. The 8 you don't even want to think about because it's not a 9. If it was a 9, it would be in the straight flush range, and then we'd probably think about it a little more. Probably still be wrong in this equation, but since it's not even close, we're just going to do king queen, and we're going to spike that royal on this video. You're going to be like, wow, we hit a royal flush. Or we miss. So here you're going to see 2.9, or with the 8 it was 2.7. Again, it gets rid of your straight draw, which hurts, and the royal flush opportunities. So you definitely want to do the king queen. Even though the EV looks, you know, not real far off, your amount you could hit with just having a king queen, you know, you could hit the 4,000, which is $1,000 in quarters. If you're playing 25 cents times $5, $1.25 a hand. So $1,000 definitely helps. And we're at 960, and this is video 4. If you haven't seen the others, make sure you start at the beginning and check them all out. We go through this in like kind of like a big session. However, all the sessions are on different days just to kind of, you know, refuel my brain. I'm curious to see if we're going to win or not by the end. And the last session, like I said, is going to be tough because it is going to be the difficult mode. So we'll see what happens there. 2 pair here. We're looking for the full house. Let's get the boat here. And we did not. We could really use one of those. I feel like it's been a minute. And here we're going to do, oh, queens. Yeah, I almost hit the ace, but queens is winning. Obvious choice. And here you can see 7.6. And don't forget, when you're playing this, the machine will beep, and right where my cursor here is, it'll say what your hand is. So it's always good to pay attention to that, because as you get tired and you're playing more and more, things like this can be missed. Pocket 5's there, clear winner. Unfortunately, we're a sore loser. And right away I wanted to click this, but the 9s on both sides, they like to do that, split them up because they're harder to notice. So we're gonna do both 9s and draw. We hit the 3rd one, which is good because we're starting to go down. Hopefully we start having a heater here. I'm gonna do 2. There's a gapper there. We do have an ace. So it's either ace or it's 2, 3, 5. I kind of think it's the ace. I want to play the 2, 5, 3, but I feel like it's the ace. And I should have just went with what I wanted to do. 6-cent mistake trying to beat the machine here. So we will go to what I originally wanted to do. 2, 3, 5. I'm sure by the last episode, I'll be fine-tuned and flying through this, right? No more mistakes by then? We'll see. 2.6 EV on that, where the ace was 2.3, so that's a decent amount difference. So we definitely want to make sure we plug that hole. And this is nothing. This is a complete redraw. It looks like some things are kind of good to keep, but it's not. So we just draw. Here you can see it's all blank. And it showed 3, 5, 6, 7 is under, so it's not the best thing to do. So you don't want to hold gut shot straights that are under jack. Here we're going to do, we already drew this hand, didn't we? This was our redraw. I was going to say 3, 4, 5, 3s, yeah. Okay, let's get a little exciting here. Let's hold the 3. Now, just making sure you're awake. 10 jack, queen, king, ace. So all we need is a king of hearts, and we're gonna blow this session out of the water, and our whole series is gonna be us winning. Is that gonna happen? I feel like we're gonna hit a 7 of hearts. I don't know why, but let's see. Oh, I would have liked a different suit, you know. Here you can see here EV's 92, which you're not going to see EV that high that often. It's the highest, one of the highest ones you can hold that I'm aware of that's not an automatic winner. Oh, you don't get many of these, but when you do, you sweat it and then you regret it after. All right, we got 2 pair here, and the machine will squeak. It go, we do. You can't do the sound. So here, queens and 2s. Let's get another deuce. Give us that deuce of diamonds back. Wrong one. Here you can see over here, highest by far. And you always want to keep the overcards when there's the 4, the jack, queen, king, ace, because you can hit any of those cards or a 10 and be winning. And also, since all of these are different suits, it makes it a lot easier because this is just it. And we get an 8. Unfortunate. 2.97 was the highest there. Here, easy one, ace, queen. Boom. We'll do pocket kings, it's automatic winner. We'll do like 3 more hands. Alright, 3 hands. Here's 1. We're gonna do the 9s. Pretty obvious choice here. EV's out the water. And we missed. Come on, bring it home big. It's obviously king, queen there. Hit a king, king, queen. At least we got something. That was hand 2. Let's do our last hand here. Boom, pocket kings. Can we win this session? We need at least a king. Nope. So we are a bit lower this session. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions or any series you would like, please put it down below. So far, I got a vote for bonus poker, so that may be next if no one else comments. So if there's something else you want, you know, another one that I have the one I have the most trouble with is deuces. So I do want to do a series on that eventually, but you let me know what you'd like to see. We can also do Ultimate X stuff or whatever. So I want to just make sure we stick on video poker. I want to thank you so much. If this helped, you know, feel free to like and subscribe. Always helps out and it'll keep these videos coming. Thanks so much. Remember, play smarter, lose less.